Hello, it's Tuesday and I'm starting another reading vlog for you guys. So it's October, obviously, which is why I think this is like the perfect time to do this kind of video. And I got two very exciting holds in from my library that I requested, and they're new releases of horror and thriller books. So I have My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. This is my first Stephen Graham Jones book, and I've already started this one, so I can give you a little bit of an update on how it's going. And I'm going to try to also read False Witness by Karin Slaughter in this vlog. False Witness, I have not started yet. I don't know very much about it. What I understand is it follows a defense attorney who is running from something in her past, and she gets this new case that she has to defend the person for whatever crime they committed, allegedly. She has to defend them because if she doesn't defend them, then they're gonna release the secret about her past that she's been running from her whole life, I believe. Might have something to do with perjury because false witness, I don't know. But I've never read a Karin Slaughter before, and I've heard her books are really intense, and I've heard that they're really gruesome and kind of graphic. So I'm very interested to see how I feel about this writing style because she has a ton of backlist that I can read if I do enjoy it. My Heart is a Chainsaw, on the other hand, is a horror novel. And this follows a girl, Jade, who is half Native American. She lives in Idaho on this lake, and the lake is haunted or something. She's like obsessed with slashers. So she makes a lot of slasher references, and you're gearing up for what will be a slasher in this town. And what I've heard about this book is it's kind of like a twist on the final girl trope, I think. So she's like going to weaponize her trauma to fight this evil force or something. I think that Stephen Graham Jones, from what I understand, has a tendency to put like paranormal elements into his horror novels. So I'm assuming there's some sort of paranormal twist to this. But so far, I don't think I'm liking it very much. I'm about a little over 100 pages in. I'm about 150 pages into this, and it's about 400 pages long. So I'm not loving it. Part of the reason I'm not loving it is because Jade pretty much talks in slasher movie references, and I have not seen a ton of slashers. I've seen the Scream movies, which she references quite a bit. I've seen Freddy or Nightmare on Elm Street, I guess. But only the original. I've seen the Halloween movies, some of them, and I like the Halloween movies. I don't really like Nightmare on Elm Street. I love the Scream movies. Those are fantastic. But she mostly references movies. She references a lot of movies that I haven't seen, which doesn't really surprise me because I don't love the slasher trope. So I think that is inhibiting my enjoyment of this. But when we start the book, Jade is a high school senior, and she's not going to graduate because she is missing credits. And she also works as a janitor part-time. It's a lot of her dad's an alcoholic. Like a lot of just like she has a really sort of shitty hand. But she's also just not my favorite protagonist to read from the point of view of, just because I find the slasher talk kind of annoying. And also I just don't know that I find her that gripping of a character. Even in her being sort of an unlikable protagonist. So what I will say about this book is the opening scene is one of the best I've ever read. So I'm hopeful for this one. It's just kind of been slow to start, and it's a lot focused on Jade and her obsession with slashers right now, which is an obsession that I don't share. So I'm gonna just update you as I keep going. I'm hoping to finish both of these this week, obviously. That's it. But yes, please keep watching if you want to hear my thoughts on these books. Mr. Man, is there a stinky puppy under there? Are you napping? No, you're awake. What are you doing? He always does this. He puts the pillow on top of himself.
If you set yourself on fire, I never let you burn. I would smoke you till my lungs hurt and love you till I'm dirt. I'm not sure where all this goes. What I do know is I'll never let you go. When my world is falling apart, you're always there first. When I felt like I could give up, you showed me my
Hello. I don't have very much time, so I'm just going to quickly update you because I started this vlog a couple days ago and I have not updated it yet. I haven't finished either of the books, but I did want to let you know that I'm about halfway through both of them. So I'm 53% of the way through False Witness, about halfway through My Heart is a Chainsaw. My Heart is a Chainsaw is picking up, but I'm still not like fully loving it. And I think part of that is, I've already mentioned this, I am not familiar with some of the slashers in here, and slashers are not my favorite subgenre of horror. So I think for that reason, I'm not really clicking with the characters, but the plot is starting to get more interesting. I am hoping to finish this tonight or tomorrow. I also got an ebook for False Witness. I found out that my library just has an ebook copy on Cloud Library. I mentioned this before. If your library has that app, I feel like no one uses it because people use like Hoopla or Libby/Overdrive, but people don't really use Cloud Library, at least at my library. Or maybe that's just one where you don't have any wait times because everything is always just available right away for me. So that's a really good app. You can't transfer that app to a Kindle. So if that's going to be a bummer for you, but I've just been reading False Witness on my phone anytime that I like have time and only have my phone. So that's how I've read so much of that, but I'm really, really liking it. I am finding it it's a little unbelievable to me, but I think things are starting to happen to where the storyline is becoming more believable. And I think I mentioned what this one is about, but it's about a girl who, when she was a teenager, babysat for this kid, and his dad was like molesting her, and then she kills his dad. And she called her sister, who's the main character of this book, to help her clean up the scene. And years later, the son has allegedly committed these horrific rapes, and he's on trial for one, and he fires his attorney like a week before he goes to trial, which is a very stupid idea, never do that, because he finds out that this girl, who's the older sister of the girl who used to babysit him, is an attorney, and he hires her, and she knows something's wrong the whole time. And you keep getting like hints that he knows what they did, but you don't really know what he knows, and he was like asleep at the time or whatever, so like there's all this stuff where like you don't know how he knows, but really horrific. People are definitely right when they say that Karin Slaughter writes like really intense, like graphic scenes, but I don't find it to be too gratuitous, so I'm not like totally hating it. That said, there are certain things, definitely look up the trigger warnings, because if there are things that you can't deal with, obviously like if you can't deal with like sexual assault and stuff, probably not the book for you. The legal system is actually really well explained, which I'm very pleased with. The lawyer character does a really good job of explaining this is what we have to do, this is what we can do, this is what we can't do. And I think it's called False Witness because he is wanting her to get him off for this crime, and to do that, he's going to have someone perjure themselves. And as a lawyer, if you know that someone's going to lie on the stand, you are not allowed to put them on the stand. You have to have someone prove that you knew, and you probably will just get sanctioned. But if you're like actively doing it a bunch in your cases, you could get in a lot of trouble and like have your license revoked and stuff. So that's sort of what's happening. But for the longest time, I was reading this and I didn't really understand why the characters were reacting the way they did. And then I talked to my boyfriend about it, and he was like, honestly, if I was in their shoes and I knew I'd killed this guy's dad and he was acting like he knew, I would be freaked out too. Especially seeing the violent way that he can treat women, because he like really violently attacked this woman, allegedly. So I'm really curious to see if there's going to be a big twist, because so far it just seems like not really twisty, just like a straight line. Like nothing has really been found out. You sort of know what's going on from the whole time. False Witness is feeling like a solid 4-star. I don't, unless something crazy happens that like really blows it out of the water, I don't see it moving from a 4-star, but again, I will let you know when I finish those. So I'm gonna go, I have to go to class. My first class was canceled this morning, and my second class was canceled yesterday, so I don't know what's going on, but anyways, I'm gonna go, but I will update you when I have another update. Good morning, friends. It's Friday. This week is it was really slow to start, but it's kind of flown by at the end. I just wanted to update you that last night I finished False Witness. I think I'm going to give this 4 stars. I did end up really liking it. There were just some things that I felt weren't totally believable. There is a pretty good, I would say there's 2 twists, or there's one big twist, but then there's like a smaller twist that sort of comes from that. Which surprised me, but I'm sure if I hadn't been just like sitting down and reading it, if I'd like had time to think, I would not have been a surprise. But I did enjoy it. I liked it a lot. I don't think I mentioned this before, but it's set in 2021, and There's a lot of talk about COVID. There's a lot of talk about the pandemic. I can't remember if I've already said this or not. I don't love when my books are like so set in time. It makes them feel more like a sitcom to me than like a book that will last, if that makes sense. Unless it's a book that's supposed to be set in that time. I mentioned this when I did my vlog where I read The Hate U Give. But I do think the author in her author's note mentions that she said it during, or she's leaning towards setting her books in a specific place and time because she wants the books to serve as a mirror for society at that time, which makes sense, sort of, except for none of the issues in this book. Like, if you took out everything about COVID, the book could still stand. So I don't think that the stuff about COVID needed to be in it, if that makes sense. Anyways, I did give this 4 stars because, like I mentioned, I did really like it. I think I already said everything I was going to say. I'm a little loopy right now. But there were a couple things that I didn't really find fully believable. You had to sort of, like, expand your disbelief, or expel your disbelief. What is that called? Suspend your disbelief. It's called suspending disbelief. I had to sort of ignore some things because I was like, well, I don't know about that. But I did like it. I liked the sibling relationship in here. I liked the, like, almost revenge plotline type thing. So yes, I still have to finish My Heart is a Chainsaw. This update has already been too long, I'm sorry. I haven't read any more of this since the last time we talked. I was just focusing on finishing False Witness, so I'm going to bring this to school today and hopefully read in between my class and my office hours, maybe during my office hours if I run out of things to do, which I probably won't because I have a lot to do today. But this is the other thing that I need to finish, and I will let you know when I do so. Give you another update. Okay, hi. It's a few days later. I don't know when I filmed the last update in this. I think it was either Thursday or Friday, but it's Saturday, so not too bad. I did finish My Heart is a Chainsaw last night. I think I'm gonna give this one 2 stars. I didn't love it. I didn't like it. I don't know. I liked parts of it. I think the writing is really good. The introduction is amazing. The like first scene is one of the most gripping first scenes I've ever read. But it just kind of went downhill from there for me until it picks back up like at the very end. There's just like nothing going on for about the first 250 pages of this book. And I've heard the argument that it is because it's a character study and not like a plot-driven novel. But I didn't find the character particularly well developed for that to be the case. She felt very much like what a middle-aged man thinks a person who shops exclusively at Hot Topic would be like. There are tons of references to her dyeing her hair with random around the house things. Like I'm pretty sure that Stephen Graham Jones has heard of people bleaching their hair and just assumes you use household bleach and not like specialized hair bleach for your hair, and then was like, well, why can't you dye it black with shoe polish? Why couldn't you dye it green with food coloring? Because none of that would work. So I found that strange, the like obsession with changing Jade's hair color. I don't know. So I didn't love this. I wanted to DNF it pretty much until it got to a certain scene where like a lot of killing starts happening. Because this is a slasher, essentially. It's building up to a slasher and then it is a slasher. But that first scene really just made me know that Stephen Graham Jones could write an amazing suspenseful scene, and I wanted the whole book to be like that. Like the suspense and the dread and the, is it, you know, paranormal or just a person? Like what is the, not, I guess, monster for lack of a better word, but yeah, this one was a miss for me, unfortunately. But, you know, I really ended up liking, I liked that Karin Slaughter book I read, The False Witness, or False Witness. I liked that book a lot. I did not like My Heart is a Chainsaw very much at all, but I am wanting to try more from both of these authors. I do really think that I would enjoy their other works. So those are my opinions and final thoughts on False Witness and My Heart is a Chainsaw, 2 new-ish horror and thriller releases. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read either of these and how you felt about them. Also, let me know if you have a favorite from either of these authors that you think I would enjoy that I should pick up next. But that is going to be it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you would like to, you can go ahead and subscribe to my channel because I do post 2 videos every single week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!